Welcome to Making a Murderer, Rubberducky video channel. Thank you very much for joining me for the RD Making a Murderer Daily MaM reading. We are reading the CASO Investigative Reports, Part 108. Page 1071. Type of activity, interview of David L. Trice, date of birth 09/1951. Date of activity 02/07/07. Reporting officer investigator John Dietering. Documents generated none. On Wednesday 02/07/07 at 10:40 hours, investigator Steyer and myself Dietering did interview the following individual at the Columbia Correctional Institution, Portage, Wisconsin. David L. Trice, date of birth 09/1951. Trice is currently serving a 7-month sentence for operating while intoxicated, 6th offense. Trice indicated he has been incarcerated at Columbia Correctional for 3 weeks and prior to that had been at Dodge Correctional for approximately 1 month. Trice indicated he believes he was incarcerated at the Manitowoc Sheriff's Department approximately 03/25/06 for his driving-related offenses. The reason for our interview with Trice was to determine the accuracy of statements provided by Eugene Barth on 01/30/07. Trice stated he never mentioned anything to anyone about knowing people at the Avery property on 10/31/05. He stated as a child he purchased parts from Al Avery, but he has not been to the auto salvage in quite a few years. I asked Trice if he knew either individual involved in the hatchet attack in Manitowoc during the same time period Teresa Halbach's RAV4 was discovered on the Avery property. He stated he did not know either of the individuals involved in this matter. Trice continued to maintain the fact that he had no knowledge of anyone being at the Avery property and indicated he was curious as to who would have provided us with any information along these lines. I ultimately did reveal the fact we had spoken with Eugene Barth regarding this matter. Page 1072. Trice indicates he worked with Eugene Barth for 13 years at Lube Devices. He stated Eugene Barth was a tool and die person on second shift. He stated he was aware of the fact that Eugene Barth's daughter was somehow involved with the Avery case. Trice went on to indicate he told Eugene Barth there was, quote, more to the story, but he stated it was his, Dave's, conclusion, and he had no hard knowledge there was anything more to the story. Trice stated he never mentioned anyone being at the Avery property on 10/31/05 because he would have no knowledge of such matter. I asked if there was a possibility that Eugene Barth had confused Trice with someone else about providing this information. Trice indicated he did not believe this was the case. I once again went over the information provided us by Eugene Barth concerning Trice's statements. Trice once again denied he had made any sort of comment about knowing anyone that had been on the Avery property on 10/31/05. Investigation continues. Investigator John Dietering, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 1073. Type of activity, receiving items from Dane County Coroner's Office and Dr. Simile Dental Office. Date of activity 12/11/06. Reporting officer Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 12/11/06, I, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department, drove to the Dane County Coroner's Office to obtain all the pieces of bones that were given to Dr. Leslie Eisenberg. I met with Coroner John Dassey at the Dane County Coroner's Office. A number of boxes and bags containing evidence tag numbers from case number 05-01-57-955 were located on a metal cart. Both John Dassey and myself went through each evidence tag number with the evidence document forms. The following items were released to myself by John Dassey. Property tag number 8314, contents of barrel number 2. Property tag number 8315, contents of barrel number 1. Property tag number 8317, contents of barrel number 3. Property tag number 8318, contents sifted from burn pit near Stevens' residence garage. Property tag number 8319, contents of barrel number 4. Property tag number 7924, unidentified material suspected to be bone in multiple pieces. Property tag number 7936, unknown material suspected to be burnt bone. Property tag number 7937, a dog stool sample. Property tag number 7942, bone fragments. Property tag number 7943, bone fragments. Property tag number 7944, bone fragments. Property tag number 8701, bone not suspected to be human. Property tag number 8675, debris pile, contents containing bone. Property tag number 7960, burnt bone. Property tag number 7964, burnt bone pieces from barrel number 2. Property tag number 6197, suspected bone fragments. Property tag number 8118, suspected bone fragments. Property tag number 8148, suspected bone fragments. Property tag number 8140, bone fragments. Property tag number 7411, possible bone fragments. Property tag number 7412, possible bone fragments. Property tag number 7413, non-human bone fragments. Property tag number 7414, bone fragments. Page 1074. Property tag number 7415, suspected non-human bones. Property tag number 7416, suspected human bone fragments. Property tag number 7418, suspected non-human bone fragments. Property tag number 7419, suspected human bone fragments. Property tag number 7420, suspected charred item resembling bone. Property tag number 7421, unidentified suspect bone. Property tag number 7422, suspected non-human bone fragments. Property tag number 7423, non-human bone fragments. Property tag number 7424, bone fragments. Property tag number 7426, bone fragments. Property tag number 7427, bone fragments. Property tag number 7428, bone fragments. Property tag number 7429, bone fragments. Property tag number 7430, bone fragments. Property tag number 7431, bone fragments. Property tag number 7432, bone fragments. Property tag number 7433, bone fragments. Property tag number 7434, bone fragments. Property tag number 7435, bone fragments. Property tag number 9597, plastic bag containing items described as cranial pieces. Property tag number 9598, plastic bag containing items described as cranial pieces. Custody of all items was signed over by John Dassey to myself. I, Deputy Hawkins, also went to Dr. Donald Simley's dental office to retrieve dental bone items. The following property tags were obtained from Dr. Simley. Property tag number 8318, contents sifted from burn pit near Stephen's residence garage. Property tag number 7924, unidentified material suspected to be bone in multiple pieces. Property tag number 7925, unidentified material charred. Property tag number 6200, teeth. Property tag number 8118, suspected bone fragments. Property tag number 8150, teeth. Custody of these items was signed over from Dr. Simley to myself. All items from the Dane County Coroner's Office were secured in my vehicle while I was at Dr. Simley's office. Page 1075. All items were transported back to the Calumet County Sheriff's Department, where they were placed into secure short-term storage. All bone items were then again checked over by myself with evidence transmittal logs. After all items were accounted for, all bone material was placed back into the long-term storage area. Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 1076. Type of activity, releasing items to FBI. Date of activity 12/18/06. Reporting officer Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 12/18/06, I, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department, release the following property tag numbers to Gerald Mullen of the FBI for transport to Milwaukee. The items were then transferred to FBI headquarters in Virginia for possible further testing. The property tag numbers are as follows. Property tag number 8675, bones located in debris pile. Property tag number 7964, burnt bone pieces from barrel number 2. Both items were signed over and released to Gerald Mullen of the FBI. Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 1077. Type of activity obtaining control swabs, releasing items to FBI. Date of activity 01/31/07. Reporting Officer Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 01/31/07, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department was asked to take control swabs of the black and color CD case that was located in the RAV4 and also 2 areas of the RAV4. The 2 areas of the RAV4 would be by the metal rear door passenger area and also by the ignition switch dashboard. I was informed these 3 control swabs, along with the swab stains of these 3 areas done by the Wisconsin State Crime Lab in Madison, were to be packaged and turned over to Gerald Mullen of the FBI for transport for further testing at FBI headquarters in Virginia. At approximately 8:24 a.m., I opened the package containing the black and color CD case. The CD case was photographed, and at approximately 8:40 a.m., 2 control swabs near the area of the blood spot was taken. The swabs were then placed into a box for drying. During the time of taking the swabs, universal precautions were taken, wearing gloves, safety glasses, and a mask. The black and color CD case was then repackaged by myself. At approximately 9:30 a.m., the blue storage unit where the victim's RAV4 is located was opened by myself. Photographs of the RAV4 were taken. At approximately 9:37 a.m., a photograph of the area by the ignition switch was taken. At approximately 9:38 a.m., control swabs of the area were taken. The control swabs were placed into a cardboard box for drying purposes. At approximately 9:41 a.m., a photograph by the rear passenger area on the metal by the label was taken. At approximately 9:43 a.m., control swabs of the area were taken. The control swabs were placed into a box for drying. During the time the control swabs were taken, universal precautions were conducted wearing safety glasses, face mask, biohazardous suits, and also gloves. Glove changes were conducted prior to the new areas being swabbed on all 3 items. Blue storage area containing the RAV4 was then relocked. The control swabs taken from the CD case were placed under property tag number 9800. The control swabs taken by the metal rear door passenger area were placed under property tag number 9801, and the control swabs taken by the ignition switch dashboard are under property tag number 9802. The control swabs, along with page 1078, property tag number 9569, swab of stain near the ignition switch of the dashboard, property tag number 9572, swab of stain from the black CD case from the front passenger seat, and property tag number 9574, swab of stain at the metal rear door entrance area passenger side, were packaged. The package containing the 6 property tag numbers was signed and handed over to FBI agent Gerald Mullen for transport. Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 1079. Type of activity, return of evidence from FBI. Date of activity 01/31/07. Reporting Officer Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 01/31/07, Deputy Hawkins of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department received from FBI agent Gerald Mullen the following items: 2 plastic containers containing pieces of bone from property tag number 9597, a plastic bag containing bone pieces from property tag number 8675, a cardboard box and plastic container in an envelope, all containing pieces of bone from property tag number 7964. Custody of all packages was signed over to myself by FBI agent Gerald Mullen. Deputy Jeremy Hawkins, Calumet County Sheriff's Department. Page 1080. Type of activity, supplemental report. Date of activity 02/08/07 and 02/09/07. Reporting Officer Deputy Jeremy Hawkins. On 02/08/07, Deputy Jeremy Hawkins of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department processed the following items: property tag number 9805, white cardboard box; property tag number 9804, white styrofoam container; At approximately 13:46 hours, I opened property tag number 9805, the white cardboard box. The white cardboard box was photographed both with and without the property tag number. At approximately 14:04 hours, the white cardboard box was taken apart. At approximately 14:08 hours, I began fuming the white cardboard box. After the white cardboard box was finished being fumed, it was taken out of the fume chamber and set off to the side. At approximately 14:17 hours, I opened property tag number 9804, a white styrofoam container. After the item was opened, I photographed the white styrofoam container both with and without the property tag number. At approximately 14:38 hours, the white styrofoam container was fumed. At approximately 14:48 hours, I started processing the white styrofoam container for any kind of prints. At approximately 15:17 hours, a partial print was located on a white portion of evidence tape. The print was then lifted and placed on a white lifting card. At approximately 15:22 hours, a second print was located on a white portion of evidence tape, located on a piece of evidence tape in the center of the bottom of the container. The print was lifted. A second lift of the print was conducted at 15:28 hours. At approximately 15:39 hours, a third print was located on a white portion of the evidence tape, located on a bottom edge of the styrofoam container. The partial print was lifted and placed on a white lift card. When processing the styrofoam container, a silver magnetic powder was used. After the styrofoam container was finished being processed, the styrofoam container was placed back into its bag and resealed. We'll start our review today on page 1071 with Trice, David Trice. And it basically comes down to Trice continued to maintain the fact that he had no knowledge of anyone being at the Avery property. He goes on to say he's never mentioned anyone being at the Avery property because he would have no knowledge of such matter. So there's really nothing to Trice. But now we get a little bit more serious. We're on page 1073. This is really important. These are the bones that Leslie Eisenberg had that is being turned back over to Jeremy Hawkins. And it's Dr. Simile, who is the dental, Teresa Halbach's dentist. And so let's take some notes, really important here. So first of all, if you look up here, we have contents of barrel 2, 8314. And down here we have debris pile, contents containing bone, 8675. And we have property tag 7964, burnt bone pieces from barrel 2. So what I'm saying is we're back to the barrels that were on Cuss Road. The idea that there was debris in a burn barrel 2 and 4 that would have come from Cuss Road. And they've implied that it comes from the Avery property, but it didn't if you follow this paperwork with us. And so you have to look at this. This is really important. 8675, debris pile, contents containing bone. And they're bringing it from barrel 2 as well. 7964, 8314. And then they have the 9597 and 9598, which are the cranial pieces. Now keep that in check for a minute. We're going to keep that on the whiteboard because we're going to come right back to it in just a second. But right now, we switch over to Dr. Simile, who is Teresa Halbach's dentist. He has teeth, 6,200 teeth. Teeth is plural. 8150 teeth. Why in the world don't we see these teeth? Did they not match Teresa? So let's jump ahead to 1076. We have the releasing items to FBI. So they state that they release 8675 bones located in debris pile and 7964 burnt bone pieces from barrel 2. So what they're giving the FBI here is the bones from Cuss Road, deer count, right? It's interesting that you don't see the cranial bones at this point in this information, in this report being released to the FBI. We do know that the FBI had the cranial bone because it gets returned. But he leaves that off the report, which is interesting. So let's go to page 1077. And we're talking about as late as January of 07, right before trial, even after the crime lab has processed the RAV, we're now starting to collect our control swabs. What? Jeremy Hawkins of the Calumet County was asked to take control swabs of the black and color CD case that was located in the RAV4 and also 2 areas of the RAV4. It states, I was informed these 3 control swabs along with the swab stains of these 3 areas done by Wisconsin Crime Lab in Madison were to be packaged and turned over to Gerald Mullen, FBI. Okay, when they took the swabs at the Wisconsin State Crime Lab, in tandem, married system is your control swab, not later. There's no point in taking a control swab months and months later. A control swab is supposed to be the standard right next to the stain, and it's supposed to be done at almost the same time. Like you do the control swab, then you do the swab. The reason is you want the same environmental conditions. Why are they repackaging things for the FBI? Why are they redoing swabs for the FBI? That's a big deal. And you can see here, at 9:38 a.m., control swabs of the area were taken. 9:43 a.m., control swabs of the area taken. That's no good. That is not how investigations are done. Now we're going to jump ahead to 1079. It's the return of evidence from the FBI. And this is what I was referring to, is all of a sudden we've got plastic container containing pieces of bone from property 9597. Now, Hawkins never signed off a release in any report that we see that he sent the cranial bone. Yet, if we go all the way back up here, where we were just talking and we had the list of bones, you can obviously see right here in property 9597, plastic bone containing cranial pieces. But does Hawkins release that to the FBI? Release of items, FBI? No. So we're missing reporting, and why are they leaving off different pieces of information? Now, let's go back onto the same page, 1079, and we're talking Jeremy Hawkins, of course, evidence custodian. He is receiving back 2 plastic containers containing pieces of bone from property tag number 9597. So what this is these are the 2 cranial pieces that the FBI had. And also keep in mind that 9597 is supposed to be 1 cranial piece. Okay? I know I'm scrolling back a lot here, but I want to make sure we understand this. So 9598 is cranial pieces. 9597 is cranial pieces. So Hawkins, Calumet, only releases 9597 cranial pieces. Doesn't want the FBI to have the other cranial pieces. Why? I don't understand why they wouldn't want all the cranial pieces to really see the situation. Why is Calumet now going back and doing control swabs, a year and a half later? Why didn't the state crime lab do their own control swabs? Now, we're only going to start this subject, and we'll finish it tomorrow. But we're on page 1080, and we have the white cardboard box and the styrofoam cardboard box. Now, these cardboard boxes they are the original packaging for the blood vial from the 1985 Steve Avery blood sample. This is where Hawkins is processing it. Just to get you started here, and we'll finish it tomorrow. He's already got a partial print, a second print, and a third print. So with that, we'll be coming back to working on that tomorrow. But why are they doing this switch and swap for the FBI? What are they so afraid of? If everything's on the up and up, why would you switch anything to give it to the FBI? Thank you very much for joining me on that. If you're having to jump through hoops and repackage things and redo things before you hand it over to the FBI, there's something wrong. So, like I always say, if you didn't do the crime, you shouldn't do the time. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening.